Welcome to Exegetical Tools Basic Greek videos. In this video we're going to look at the square of stops, and this is a very brief video, should be, just demonstrating a phenomenon whereby when words are formed in Greek, especially when sigmas get put in or added on to right after a consonant, you're going to get some changes, and those changes are explained by the square of stops. So first of all, when is this going to matter? This is going to matter with the third declension nouns, of which I have one example here, and also with, for example, the future tense stem, whenever you're adding a sigma tense formative. Also, anytime you're adding a sigma within a word, which happens, for example, with the aorist active indicative, you add a sigma tense formative there. Stuff like this is going to happen. So the square of stops is something to be aware of, because when you see a form that has essentially changed, you might say, as it's being formed, you're going to be able to recognize the stem a lot easier and be able to parse it a lot easier if you know the square of stops, or at least if you can refer back to it. So what we have are three classes of consonants that create stops. And stops is basically whenever you're speaking, basically your tongue goes against, say, the roof of your mouth or your teeth or something like that, and basically there's a stop that's created in the air that's coming out of your mouth. So we have the labials. The P, in this case, it's just your lips coming together. You have P, you have beta, and you have phi. So notice there that either your teeth are coming together with your lips, or your lips are coming together, P, beta, and phi. And then the velars, kappa, tau, and chi. That's where your tongue's kind of coming together at the roof of your mouth. And then the dentals, tau, delta, and theta, even more so. Sorry, that with the velars, it's not your tongue going to the roof of your mouth. That's with the dentals. But the velar is more kind of in your throat almost, kappa, tau, and chi. Essentially, I don't actually know biology or anything like that, so I can't explain where these are occurring in the mouth. But if you say them aloud, you can feel in your mouth where the air is getting stopped or getting pushed through. So kappa, tau, chi, and then dentals, tau, delta, theta. So there your tongue's coming up against either the top roof of your mouth or against the teeth. Okay, so anyway, when you take labials, when you take all these and add a sigma to right after it, so if you take, for example, a labial P and then add a sigma after it, this is what we're talking about here. This is not going to stand. It's not going to stay like that. That will change to a psi. Same thing with beta sigma and with phi sigma. All of these will change to epsi. It happens that way. It happens that way naturally, basically, in the way you pronounce a word. So if you just pronounce it, that's essentially the way it sounds when you pronounce it. Sorry, let me zoom out a little, get a little more space here. Same thing with the velars. Kappa sigma, tau sigma, and chi sigma. Those are all going to change to xi. So you see, you're already saying xi here with kappa sigma. Tau sigma is a little different. Tau, you get a xi sound. Anyway, I'm not going to try and pronounce all these, but the dental, same thing. Tau sigma, delta sigma, theta sigma. But with the dentals, the dental just drops out and you're left with sigma. So let me just erase this here, and you can see some actual words I've put in here to show the examples. With blepo, when blepo, which means I see, present active indicative is blepo, when you put it in the future active indicative, you take the future active tense stem, which is blep, as I have here. It's just blep is the, and then you're going to add a sigma, and then you're going to add the ending. Well, this right here is a problem, so it changes to blepso. And that's the square of stops. Same thing with sarc, sarx. Sarx is the nominative singular feminine form of flesh. And the actual stem, because it's third declension, is sarc, and then you add the nominative singular ending of sigma on there, and instead of sarx with kappa sigma, you get sarx with a c. And that's how you get that lexical form. And then the last one down here with patho, I persuade, you get this is going to the future active indicative, so path, and then instead of adding sigma for the future tense formative and then o, the ending, pathso, you just get peso instead, so that theta dental just drops out. And that's it. That's the square stops. So you'll need to know this for several different tense stems and for the third declension nouns especially. So be aware of it. Maybe write it out a few times. Try to memorize it. Memorize it if you can. If you can't memorize it, it's okay. Just have it somewhere where you can refer back to it for quick reference. Thanks a lot. Join us again for the next video.